Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Dempsey. I'll be your presenter today for this installment of the CPS WebTips. Today, we're going to be looking at how to work with the reporting view inside AgilePoint. So what are we going to cover today? Today, we're going to be looking at how to create a report view within our process model in our workflow. Different properties we need to make sure that are completed, as well as the setup. And then we'll look into how we can create a hyperlink for the report view, or more like a status view for our email notifications. Now, why is this important? Well, for the report view, it basically gives us a view of just the current data within the requests. We can set any number of fields to what's on this view. Typically, you'll see them in read-only. And we can display those within a newly created view. We can also see the report view within our workspace, and we'll walk through how to see that. And lastly, we'll see how we can look at a report view from our email. All right, so let's jump right in. Here I've prepared an app for this web tips for today. I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch so we can see how this is built. This is just a very basic workflow with a couple of tasks as well as a notification. And we'll come back to this later on to see how we can build out creating that link within the email. So to get started, we'll pull over here a standard task. If you don't have a view already created with read-only views, you can go ahead and create that and set those up. But for demo purposes, I've already created a view. So we'll go ahead and click Next. Let's give it a make sense name. And for our participants, we'll just set this to our process initiator. This could also be a system account if you'd like. So we'll go ahead and click Finish, and then that creates our task. We'll go ahead and start building out our transition lines. Okay, so we set this up right after the start task, so it generates this for us from the beginning of the process. So at any point along the way, we'll have that report view created. Now, the next steps that are important are setting this up so that it can be our report view. So we're going to go over here and select Properties and Active Properties. We'll see different information here. The first step, though, we'll want to do is set this autocomplete to true. And this way, it can, after it completes submitting the request, it goes ahead and creates that automatically and goes to our next task. And we'll set underneath eForms, we'll go ahead and set report view to true. Now, you may see that there's an error pop up on save and check-in, and that could just mean that your start task is also set to report view to true. You just go ahead and flip that back to false. So we'll go ahead and save and check in, and we'll publish. We'll go ahead and create one. We'll enter in our information. and we'll click submit. We'll head back over to our tasks. As you can see here, I have a review task. Let's go ahead and look at that process model so we can see we submitted our form and it auto-completed our create report view, and we're at our review task. Now, earlier I mentioned you'll be able to view this from your task as well, so we could see this report view here. And it's just a read-only view of our fields. All right, and then after this task, we'll go and see this report view and an email notification. So we can see we have now a finalized task. Let's take a look at our process model. We have our email notification completed and our new task. Let's see if our email has arrived yet. Okay, we have our email here. And we have our report view generated. Now, as you can see here, how we're going to generate this is by compiling and putting together this URL here. And this is composed of two parts. One is going to be the static part. And the second one is going to be our variable, which is a process instance ID that gets generated for each process submitted. So how do we set that up? Now let's go over to our Manage tab. And we'll see our shared variables. And here we have a variable that's just called process link base URL. And if we edit this, we can see that this is our static URL that we saw earlier. And you can find this just by clicking on any of the report view on your task. Okay, so now that we've created that variable, we'll head back over to our app builder. I'll open up our email notification. We'll go to edit. We'll head over to content. And we'll click on this URL. So let's take a look at how this is composed. So we have our two items here, the process link base URL. This is the static variable that we just created under the Manage tab, as well as this process ID. And process ID. Now, just a tip here, we aren't able to actually drag and drop these variables over, but we can go ahead and copy. So you'll be able to go over here and update that to copy. And those are just a couple of things that we can do with the report view. We can this is, we walk through how to generate that within creating a task and updating some properties. We looked at how we can also create a standalone view to generate what we want to see on the report view. We saw how we can view that from the work center within our task, as well as inserting that into a notification. So I hope these were very helpful for you if you have not yet worked with the report view, or if you're still learning to learn more about it. Let me flip back over to our PowerPoint here. And that's our web tips for today. If you liked what you heard, or if you learned anything, or just want to learn anything else, please contact our team at the URLs provided below. We also have more videos and other related web tips at our at the URL down below as well, and you can find those at YouTube too. Once again, my name is Tim Dempsey. Thank you for your time today, and look forward to the next one.